Welcome to RPG Archive. We got a hell of a show today. It's our second Q&A episode, so we've only done one before, but this one is special because it's specific to Dragon Quest. As always, we have Major T here today.
Yep, here in person on another screen. What's up, Spencer?
Yeah, he's actually in Arizona today, so that's pretty cool.
And I hear you twice, once in the call and once from the other room.
Yeah, so hopefully there's not too much echo. So make sure you go check out Major T. I think I've plugged him like 50 times this week, so I'm just gonna say he does. He's got Turbo Throwdown. He's got his Q&A just released, and he's doing a million other things. But go check out Major T. Now, also really cool. This is our first time having him on the show. He's an up and comer. He talks. He specifically talks about Dragon Quest, which is kind of awesome, and it's why we have him here for the Dragon Quest Q&A. It's Dragon Quest Poppy.
That's me. I'm Dragon Quest Poppy. What's up, guys? It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. I appreciate you guys for inviting me. We did an episode on my channel just the other day, which will be up next week. I don't know when this comes up, but yeah, I love Dragon Quest. So let's talk about it.
Awesome. And what do you got going on your channel? I heard that you're working on a manga, a Dragon Quest manga. How's progress on that going?
It's going, bro. It's going. We talked about it yesterday a little bit on my podcast, but I'm very limited with time, but I'm very, very excited about this project. I love anime. I love Dragon Quest, and there's an anime called Dragon Quest Die, which is great. But but basically, I like to make my own stories and stuff, and I've been writing this one for like a year now, and I'm finally drawing it out very slowly, and trying to make it as nice as possible. But yeah, I'll be releasing my first official chapter, I think, in like the spring of this year, which will be for free for everyone to be able to read and to look at. And then after that, I'm going to be putting it on my Patreon and releasing a chapter monthly on my $5 tier. So if anyone's ever interested. But I'm really excited about it. So it's going to be good.
I don't know if we've ever plugged a passion project like that. So that's really cool. Good luck with that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You also do a podcast over there, and you do some interesting tier lists, I gotta say. The last one was a little bit of a head scratcher.
Well, yeah, so I do the Dragon Quest Poppy podcast. That one, basically any topic Dragon Quest, I release a video once a week. And then the tier list videos, like you mentioned. I also do like reviews for some of the manga chapters, and then also the volumes and the anime, and some reactions to all that stuff. So basically anything Dragon Quest I'm all about, and I'm slowly kind of reviewing, and I do live streaming as well, which is where we initially started communicating, which is a good time. But yeah, anything Dragon Quest, I'm either covering it or trying to cover it, and eventually we'll either review it or whatever. So that's the plan, at least.
Okay. Well, make sure you go check out Dragon Quest Poppy. We're all big fans.
Yeah, check out our first ever Poppy appearance. We were on the Poppy podcast, and it's basically the same dynamic, 1, 2, 3. And it's a hell of a show. If you like what you hear, subscribe to Mr. Dragon Quest Poppy.
Muchas gracias.
All right.
Nada, amigo.
Without further ado, are you ready to dig into some Dragon Quest Q&A?
Yes, sir.
And feel free to,
shovel,
if you don't like a question, to let us know. Because sometimes this community asks duds. And if you don't like it, you got to let them know, or else they're going to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying?
So can I use a lifeline if I need to? Like, like Majority or something? Or just hit pass? hit the pass button.
If you think it's stupid, go for it. I don't care.
We may
All
need
right.
help. We may need to pool our minds together for this first question.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of taking a lifeline, your sworn brother. Hey, I've heard that guy before.
That's me.
Pick 6 Dragon Quest monsters to bring with you to the Elite Four. So I didn't know this, but this actually lines up perfectly with you because you used to be a big Pokemon fan.
It's true. This is true. And you know, it's funny. When I first read the question, I totally skipped the monsters part, and I was just thinking like characters. And so I was like writing down character names. And so now I'm just totally thrown off. But that's a really good question. I really like that question. I mean, usually in Pokemon, at least when you're playing the main story, you're really just trying to like destroy everything in one hit, you know?
Mhm.
And so I feel like you just want to bring like the strongest monsters. Instead of like thinking of like a healer, you know, or like a support unit and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, you got to bring like a great dragon, you know. I feel like
to use fire on everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the breath attack literally just kills everything it sees.
But
I don't know.
you know what I would pick is I don't remember the name of it. Teddy probably, or you both could probably remember it. He's the metal guy that usually appears about halfway through the game. He's metal.
Time Knight.
No, he's got a bow and he's got like a crossbow and a sword. And he's this metal thing, and he attacks twice. He gets 2
Killing
attacks.
Machine.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah. And he gets 2 attacks. To me, that's invaluable.
Right. So the other thing about the monsters is they've got like their ranks because there's like the Killing Machine, but then there's like the stronger variation of the Killing Machine, which it kind of changes with the games what they're called, but you know, but you know, in a general sense, I think that's a great option, Killing Machine. Because 2 attacks in 1 turn is ridiculous. Literally final boss status right there.
I want to throw a curveball here because you're saying bring brute force, but when I play Pokemon, I tend to get like a Crobat and just start hitting them with toxic, and then like fly and confuse, ray, and protect, and be a dick. So I want to throw a Wyvern in there because the Wyvern always screws me up in Dragon Quest. You know what I'm saying? Like they have some like fuddle spell.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like that, and then they also have like the strong breath attacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Grand Chimera or something. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but
Okay. Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. The ones that kind of look like ostrich heads or whatever, and then have little
bald ostrich.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There we go. That's a good idea. There we go. That's a solid 3 Pokemon team right there so far.
3 more.
I mean, I don't want to just talk the whole time, but I feel like we need a Metal King Slime. I don't know if you guys know which that one is.
I was literally just thinking that because they're not going to die. Like you can't kill them.
No, you can't even hit them.
But also, do they do any damage?
So they do. Yeah, basically, the Metal King Slime usually has like a stronger variation of like a fire spell, or different other abilities depending on the game. But a King Slime himself usually can do like multi-heal in like different games, or
but does a Metal King Slime do it?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think they have more basic attacks, but they're pretty strong. You know, it's kind of like let's see. It's kind of like a fire punch, thunder punch, ice punch sort of attack. Okay. It's not like the strongest variation of like a fire type move or strong, you know, but it's good enough that you can use it in like end game stuff.
And you just know he's not going to die, so you're
exactly
pretty confident.
I think that's the biggest.
Well, the HP is pretty low, no?
That is true.
But he can't be affected by magic damage, and half the time or whatever the ratio is, the physical attacks will miss.
You know, the Metal Slime in Dragon Quest VI, if you level up the class of liquid metals. It's liquid metal slime. They
Right.
basically become impenetrable, but it requires so much work to do.
Yeah, and then and that's like if you're leveling up that specific vocation. But
Right.
in terms of the monster itself, the Metal King slime is the boss.
True.
And yeah, so you got a really good unit or Pokemon here that will basically you can't hit almost at all. You might need like if you had a very specific Pokemon that we were fighting against, but that's going to be super hard for somebody to, bring that to the table.
You know how you could use him have you ever gotten in like that desperate moment in the Elite Four battle where you like lost all your Pokemon and now you've got like one more left, but you want to use like revive and some items maybe on your other Pokemon? He could be like
Yes.
your sixth that you jump in and literally just bring back the whole team because he's never gonna die.
That is a good idea. I like
Unless they hit a crit, and then uh-oh.
Then we're all dead.
Plan over. Yeah. That's a good one.
That's funny.
I mean, I guess like you want a strong physical attacker, so either the ogre or the golem type guy.
Oh yeah, the gold. I think
the gold one or whatever the strongest one is.
I think it's the iron one. There's like the regular golem, the gold one, and then there's like the iron one or whatever.
Okay.
I think that one's like the stronger variation. But I would go with there's a monster called Demon at Arms. I don't know if you guys know which that one is.
Is it the one with that multi arms?
Yes.
Okay.
That one can also attack twice per turn, and it does stupid amount of damage. It's like ridiculous. I mean, so we could do that one as the sixth, and then the golem as the fifth. I think that's a really good team right there.
Skeleton guy with like 6 swords?
No, that is I forgot that one's name. It's like Undead Champion or something like that. But the one I'm talking about is called Demon at Arms.
Okay.
He kind of looks like a zombie bull sort of thing. And yeah, he's got like 4 arms with big weapons, and very, very powerful monster. So
you got a hell of a lineup there. Now, question, Teddy, when you were asking this question, is it these monsters will take on Pokemon or these monsters will take on other Dragon Quest monsters? Or does it matter?
Doesn't matter. I mean, I was going Pokemon route, but it doesn't matter.
So it'd be like one of these guys versus like a Charizard?
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sick.
That would be cool. Cool crossover.
All right, excellent question. Next one. What are your thoughts on Dragon Quest Builders 2? This is from Miguel, which is Malta Master. Check out his music on SoundCloud. Spotify.
And SoundCloud, maybe.
And while we're doing that, I'll look up his band name. I forgot it already.
Miguel, cool. Sounds cool. I'll be honest. I have not played Dragon Quest Builders 2, so I might not. Yeah, I won't be much help here. I'm currently playing the first Builders game because I have a weird thing where I need to play the first one before I play the second one and the third one, sort of thing. I know I don't necessarily have to do that with the Builders game, but still, right now I'm in like the third world in the first Builders game and slowly making my way up, and then I'll play Builders 2. So anyways, I won't be much help here.
And Malta's band is Metalero Acero. It's it's like a Spanish metal band, and it's pretty fucking lit. So you should check it out. It'll blow your tits off. But I've played a little of 2, and I was pretty impressed by all the connections they made to Dragon Quest. It's like an extension of Dragon Quest 2. So you'll see a lot of familiar faces if you know, which is really fun. I mean, as far as the gameplay goes, it's doing the whole Minecraft but in Dragon Quest thing. So your enjoyment of that may vary, although I like it more than Minecraft just because of the Dragon Quest trappings. So
Doesn't 2 let you ride on some of the monsters?
I don't know if I ever got that far because I don't really play these games a lot. I think I played through the first world and enjoyed it, and then I was like, I put it down. I don't think I ever picked it back up. I wouldn't mind though, but I don't know that for a fact.
Okay. I have no opinion. I haven't played it. I played about a chapter into Dragon Quest Builders 1 and put it down. It's a labor, and nothing against it. It's the first game is good. I have no opinion on the second because I haven't played it.
All right, BioPhoenix here. He's asking, what Dragon Quest game has the most dragons in it? You're walking a fine line, Bio. You better hope your next question is better than that one. Do we want to answer that? If you want to answer it,
Dragon Warrior 2, right? Or the first one?
Isn't it probably 11?
No, it's definitely not the first one. It's only got the green dragon. I think there might be a blue dragon, and then the dragon
Red
lord.
Dragon and the Grand Dragon at the end.
Yeah.
But I'm not necessarily going in terms of the quality, just in terms of quantity. Like you're going to see so many. I say Dragon Warrior 2 because I feel like Cave of Rome, I saw so many damn dragons.
I mean, 11's got a bunch. It'd be hard to argue with it being the longest.
I would probably say 11 because there's also very many different variations as well. And there's some areas that are just chock full of them, especially later in the game. So maybe 11.
Does it matter to you to see a lot of dragons in Dragon Quest games?
No.
No.
All right. His second question is, which Dragon Quest game do you think is the most underrated? That's a good one.
We should do the finger thing again. We did on my episode.
I got to think about it for a second. I agree with the finger thing, though.
Okay, finger thing, prepare. I got mine.
I got mine.
Most underrated. Okay, I also got mine.
All right, Teddy, count us off.
All right, let's throw them up on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh wow, Teddy, you're wrong, bro.
In this matchup, yeah.
Why do you think 2, Teddy?
Oh, you know what? Maybe I was misunderstanding the question. Well, I'll stick with it anyway. I think that it's just the universally lambasted game, and I think that's unfair because it's not a bad game. It's actually quite good. It's just hard, and I think it's unfair in the final boss section because he has like a freaking Omni heal. You got to get kind of lucky with that. But other than that, I thought it was manageable. And honestly, it's an improvement from Dragon Warrior 1. Like you see, like it's the introduction of the party system. It's kind of funny, like just seeing like, oh my gosh, what happens? The Prince of Canic gets sick or something, and then like you wake him up or something, he's fine. I don't remember. There was something comedic about it, like just how poorly it was executed. But I kind of got a laugh out of it. You get the ship. So I kind of see it as like an origin to a lot of the later Dragon Quests. I like the contrast. I think it preserves the difficulty of like the classic RPG. I don't like how cryptic it is, but those moments are few and far between. And as long as you have a walkthrough, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I do agree it's underrated. It's funny, the community really shits on Prince of Canic so bad. But for me, I've never had the issue where he like is useless. I know it's a meme, but like it's not that bad. But I will say the dialogue with the Prince of Canic, I think is the best. It's like the most hilarious in the game. Especially, I don't know if you guys have ever like gone back and like talked to his sister, but she like lisps, and so you can like tell with the dialogue. But it's just so funny. Like it's got great dialogue. But yeah, it's definitely underrated. But I definitely would say 6 is the most underrated, just because. I mean, the community just seems to really hate that game, and I don't think it deserves it. I mean, I really don't think it does. It's in terms of graphics wise, at least with the remakes, I think it's the most beautiful. The cutscenes are great. And then like I've talked about this before, but the vocation system I absolutely adore. The story's not that bad. I think it's pretty good even. And then I do understand the whole like kind of open world aspect of it being kind of confusing at times. But again, like you said with Dragon Quest 2 or Dragon Warrior 2, if you use a guide, no problem at all, sort of thing. But
yeah, I'll second you on everything. And actually, you talked about Teddy and I were in the car this morning. We were listening to your video about the your top five Dragon Quests for now, and this one took your fifth place, right? If I remember correctly.
It did.
And I remember you talking about the vocation system and that you actually really like the characters in this, which I think is one of the things that people also take issue with this game is they just don't click with the characters. They don't like Terry for some reason.
I don't understand that, bro.
I like Terry.
He's a character.
Hey, Terry. We have a fan named Terry, but also
respect, shout out to Terry.
Don't start.
The Dragon Quest game I have the most nostalgia for is Dragon Warrior Monsters, where he is the protagonist. So to me, it's like I kind of appreciate that about Dragon Quest 6.
I think Terry was really like kind of the idea of Terry kind of felt like Blue from Pokemon Red and Blue. He appears as your rival. He's an asshole, for a huge part of the game. But then eventually, especially with like his cool fighting cutscene and when you get him and stuff, like you can't like say that he's not badass, like he's always really cool. And then eventually he joins your crew and I don't know, it just makes him feel really cool. Obviously, again, he kind of treats you like an ass, but that's how a rival, is always better felt, I feel like. So
I think those like morons on Reddit want all the characters to be super nice. Because every character I've seen that isn't like super nice, they just say I hate them. Like Maribel gets shit on all the time. And then the Veronica, they're like everybody on there hates Veronica. It's like, why? Just because she's not your best friend all the time?
Yeah. Who doesn't love Magus from Chrono Trigger?
I know, he's like everyone's favorite. That's true.
There you go.
So I don't get them. I don't get those Reddit people, but whatever. They don't get me either. Yeah. They kick me out of every Reddit I've ever been in. So
Terry, you're cool in my book.
Yeah. All right. Next question is also from Multimaster. What is the strongest enemy you have defeated in Dragon Quest?
Ooh.
I think I might just translate that a little bit to like hardest battle, because I mean I'm not just going to go with that, like highest HP.
And that would be his second question. So maybe we just merge those together and say what was the most difficult battle for you. And
unless the second question is which game was the most difficult for you, but in either case it might be similar. It's got to be this. I think it's Sorrow the Manslayer in Dragon Quest 4, and maybe it's the post game one because there's a very similar one in the post game. I feel like I really had to grind for that one. That or the Dragon Warrior 2 end boss. That guy was a monster. But I couldn't save state my way through Dragon Quest 4. I don't even remember. But I think Dragon Warrior 2 had like a double phase boss section, and the second phase was like right after like the first part. It was so hard, and you had to work your way up there. But Sorrow the Manslayer, I think that's like a 6-part boss. Yeah.
That was pretty gnarly.
You bring the whole caravan. That's the difference. At Dragon Warrior 2, your team is pretty damn weak. So, they're both up there. They're both really tough battles.
Yeah, I honestly, I was gonna go. I guess this is kind of a spoiler if you haven't, finished 11. But I was initially gonna go Kalasmos, which is the true final boss of the game. But now that you mentioned Sorrow the Manslayer, honestly, it brings back memories of me having super, a hard time just getting through it was hard. It was really, really hard. I did have to grind, go back and grind, come back, go back and grind, come back, sort of thing. So I don't know. It's kind of hard for me. I think maybe Sorrow the Manslayer just a little bit more than Kalasmos, but it's tough. It's a tough question.
It is. I think I'll just say Kalasmos because I didn't know how to beat him at first.
Mm.
And then once you understand how to beat him, it's actually pretty easy. But the first getting smacked by him the first time, you're like, oh god, I gotta go grind. Holy shit.
If I didn't resort to my guide, the Dragon Quest VI end boss could easily be up there too.
Mm.
Yeah, he's a beast. I guess we can try to answer it this way. What was the most difficult Dragon Quest?
That's an interesting question because it doesn't have to be like that bosses were difficult. It's just the most difficult for you to play and finish. 6 really did elude me for a long time. But some of that's unfair because I think I was waiting for the right time because I always felt in my head like I would have to finish 4 and 5 first. And I had finished 4, and then I had 20 hours in 5, and then I put it down, and then I started 6, and that was wrong, so I put it down. And then I later finished 5, and then I was like, great, and I was like, oh, I got to start 6 again. And I started it, I put it down. I think I restarted it, I put it down, and then finally I just sucked it up. It was like, Spencer, let's just do it. Let's just knock 6 out. And I feel there was some suffering going through the experience for me. I was religiously using that guidebook. It was a lot. So I think just the whole process made 6 very difficult for me. I didn't hate it. It's just it was cumbersome at points.
I would probably go. So this might be kind of a weird answer, but Dragon Warrior 3. So honestly, it's. I guess I don't have a huge difficulty of a time to finish the games because I do like to grind. I'm sure any of us or RPG fans usually do.
Yeah.
But since I recently finished the Game Boy Color version of Dragon Warrior 3, the very last part when you're trying to get up to the Divine Dragon, I don't know if you guys remember that part or if you've done that part, but that last sort of dungeon, I had a really hard time with a specific enemy. It's the skeletons with the multiple arms, and so defeating them wasn't that difficult. But the problem was that they were a lot of the time quicker than my whole party. And the thing that I didn't notice until it happened twice was that if they paralyze your whole team, it counts as if you're dead. And so you start back from Aliahan. And
wow.
It happened to me like 3 times. I'm like, it was stupid because I was more than high enough level, but it was so frustrating because it was basically RNG at that point. It was just super random. Like if I had these 4, skeleton champions or whatever show up, 33% of the time they could just beat me up, and it wasn't even because I wasn't strong enough. It was just because they could paralyze my whole team, and so it was kind of unfair, and it was a little frustrating. So I'll go with that for my answer.
I'll do Dragon Quest 2 because it's Dragon Quest 2.
There you go.
David Rowan, baby.
All right. Next question is from Majority. Thank you.
Hey.
Which Dragon Quest game do you underappreciate the most? Do you want to do another raise up?
Let me think about it for a second because I wrote this a while ago.
This is a tough one. It's kind of a tough one.
Yeah, because you have to reflect and think what am I not appreciating?
Mine is
because
immediately came to me.
Oh wow, I kind of have 3 to be honest. I don't know which one to pick.
Pick the one you underappreciate the most. Wrecked.
Yeah. Which one didn't make your top 5? Yeah.
Well,
By
in
the
that
way-
case, 2 of them.
By the way, your
Yeah.
top 5 is wrong because Dragon Quest 9 is on it. So remove 9 and redo it because we don't need that. 9 is not the right answer.
You know, since I'm here with Spencer, I brought my DS and I happen to have Dragon Quest my finished copy on there, and he finished it recently. So we did
Oh,
some of
nice.
the local cartography stuff.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we played it the way it was supposed
Yeah.
to be played, multiplayer. It was insane.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I've yet to do that. I'd love to do it, but
Because could you even
obviously-
imagine finding somebody that likes that and has a 3DS? Like it's impossible.
Nah.
Or DS, I guess. But yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah, no, it's
Remake. Let's go.
Yeah.
that would be amazing. That would be amazing.
It'd be amazing
I
for
have
me
my
too,
game.
because that was one of my clips. All right, so yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
Do you have
Poppy, you ready?
Do you have one,
Oh,
Puppy?
okay, fine. Yeah, I got one.
All right,
Cool.
Teddy, count us down.
Sure. On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh wow.
Wow.
2, 3, 4. Let's go in order.
All
There you
right. 2 because everything I've said about 2 already, and what Teddy said about 2, and that it actually what Teddy said about 2 when he said it's the most underrated is my answer for why it's the most underappreciated. Is that it really is the first, like you could play Dragon Quest 1 now and then play Dragon Quest 11 and be like these are 2 completely different games. But you could play Dragon Quest 2 and then play Dragon Quest 11 and be like, oh, I see where all this came from. Like this was this, and there's the multi-party system, and there's like interacting with these characters that join your squad. So actually 2 is almost the first Dragon Quest, like as we know it. And Dragon Quest 1 is like some weird thing where they're like, I don't even know what an RPG is. So 2 did so much for the genre, not just Dragon Quest, but the genre of RPGs. And I really don't care because it's a nightmare to play. So that would be mine, is 2.
Following 2 is 3, the next number in the Roman numeral system. And also the Dragon Quest game I underappreciate the most, which is maybe shocking. I know it's the fan favorite of the community. The community tends to laud 3, but I see some elements that's kind of weak. I tend to see like the moment that the, spoiler alert, father, comes back at the end is kind of like a one and done. Like it's not really felt. I feel like later Dragon Quest games do better, but I think what I underappreciate the most about it is just some of like the context and the plot settings. It's actually probably one of the most functional of the NES games, that you could probably play the most without the guidebook. The 6 like treasures, whatever that you're supposed to get, like those are really cool. They're really well thought out. Like I still think back fondly on some of those experiences, like the kimono lady that turns into a dragon, or like you got to break into the prison or something. But you know what was it, the one thing was the stupid freaking merchant quest. That was 3, right?
That was genius.
In for its time, but not in execution.
Yeah, the execution was horrible, but the idea was so smart.
It's fun.
Yeah, great idea for the wrong time, but I still appreciate Dragon Warrior 3. I just could appreciate it more.
I think now maybe the Merchant Quest might not be seen as that, I guess, fun, but maybe at the time with less guides, it was something that was more, since maybe you discovered it, while you were playing, sort of thing. Maybe it was more seen as more exciting or significant. I don't know, but
If you knew to do it,
right.
who had a merchant in their party? Not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so what about 4? Well, why do you think that's underappreciated?
Okay, so actually, I lied.
We've talked about lying, Poppy. We've
Well,
had
this is my first lie. You lied 4 times on my podcast episode, bro. All right, this is my first lie. Okay.
Okay, you're on.
Spencer's Lies. Check out Dragon Quest Poppy here on YouTube.
All right, I'm watching you.
Okay, so basically, the thing is, I was really thinking about it, and so 3, 4, and 5 didn't make it onto my list of my top 5 favorite games. But when I was really thinking about it, 3 is the lowest on the rest of the list, if that makes sense. And
Wait, you put 3 lower than 2?
no. In terms of like
those three.
of those 3.
Oh,
So
okay.
like
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah. So basically 3. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that it's always on everyone's top 5 list when I've seen like top 5 Dragon Quest games. Because, and maybe it's just because I played it much later than most people that have made these lists, I guess. Because maybe a big part of it is nostalgia. I do understand the significance of 3. It was literally so big, especially in Japan, that it basically, that's what blew up the whole franchise as a whole, was because of 3. So, I mean, we have to, that's why I feel like I underappreciate it, because of the significance of the game itself. But in terms of like the story and like the gameplay and stuff like that, I don't know. It's just not my favorite, I guess you could say. It's not that fun, I guess you could say. Yeah, the class system is very basic, which obviously, I mean, for its time, it was revolutionary. But for now's time, it's not. And so anyway, so yeah, that's that. There you go. That's my answer.
I mean, basically, from 6 on, every Dragon Quest game did class systems and just leveling up better.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's true. All right, this next one's also from Majority. Sales pitch. The Dragon Quest series as a whole. Go. Sales pitch. That's like an elevator speech.
Listen,
Yeah.
you like dragons? You like going on quests? This is the game for you. Dragon Quest. Also, you like anime? All the characters look like Dragon Ball Z. You know Dragon Ball Z? You know Goku? You know Akira Toriyama? Play this damn game.
Wow, that was good. That's going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I liked it.
I'm sold.
Sweet.
I like dragons. I like Dragon Ball.
There you go.
I would say, do you want to go on like an epic adventure in a medieval fantasy? And you want to do it in like the most classic turn-based style there is, with awesome characters and vibrant worlds and long adventures with your friends? Dragon Quest. TM.
I
wouldn't buy it.
Okay.
You wouldn't buy that?
No. I'm just missing like the enthusiasm.
I don't have his enthusiasm. I'm dead inside.
That's a lie.
It's like the first lie for lie. Okay. I want you to make the brightest smile you can. Just smile and just imagine the face of a smile on a cute little blue creature. It's a slime. Now I want you to imagine you lifting your sword and slashing through the ooze and goos of the slime and gaining experience points and gold and taking it to the end. That's right. This is a game for questers, dragon questers, those who like to rake up experience, take down big enemies, and have a smile while doing it. And why not throw that same slime in your party? Dragon Quest. Be a hero. Get it today. And smile.
Very nice.
There you go. There you go. Boom.
Well, I
Love
think we
it.
got 2 salesmen over here.
That was good. I'd buy it.
I'd buy yours. I don't know about Spencer's.
Wow.
He needs to work on it.
Maybe if it was on sale
Yeah. On sale now or half off.
or came free with like some magazine or something.
Yeah, my sales pitch is going to be on the Nintendo Power that gave it for free.
Free demo with Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, there you go.
This next one is also from Majority.
Go figure.
It is, what is your view on the current state of Dragon Quest remakes / remasters? I can start.
What are the current remakes / remasters that exist? So I guess I think of like even the Super Nintendo versions of 1, 2, and 3. I think of those as remasters. think of 4, 5, and 6 on the DS as remakes, although remastered to some extent. For 4, for sure. Um, PS2 technically had the Dragon Quest V remake. There's the Dragon Quest 7 3DS make. There's the Dragon Quest 8 3DS make. And then there's I guess the S edition for 11. There are no remakes for 9. Oh, you can also count the Game Boy Color remakes of 1, 2, and 3. So there's no remake for 9. And 10 never really got localized, but that's a different question.
I'll say they're terrible. The remake situation for Dragon Quest is absolutely a travesty and needs to be fixed. Why? Because you can't really play them all on newest consoles. And that's terrible. And the 1, 2, and 3 that you can play on the Switch are pretty ugly. You probably don't want those. I mean, they'll do, but like, it's not really the best, nobody's favorite version of them. Yeah, it's kind of a travesty. Because if you wanted to play Final Fantasy, you can pretty much play any one you want. You can literally go on Steam. I think they're all there, like literally all of them, except for maybe even 11's there. I don't even know, but all the ones that you'd want to play are there. Dragon Quest is not the same story. It's like you have to dig through shit to find it, and like why can't you play 4, 5, and 6 on any modern console? Why is that a thing? Why is 7 not on any modern console? Why is 8 like the best one in my opinion not on any modern console? Like, that's so stupid. So no, I absolutely hate what they've done with it, and they need to pick it up.
Yeah, in terms of the actual games themselves, in terms of remakes, they're amazing improvements for sure. But going to the question, the state of being able to play the games themselves is really just super frustrating. I mean, I've talked at length about this on my podcast, and basically anything I'm on, it's just such a frustrating situation, because you're right. I mean, dude, if they imported 4 to 6, 7, 8 to Switch, bro, everyone would buy it. All of us would buy it at least, and they wouldn't even need to do that much marketing. I bet. Like, it would be a great success, and it wouldn't even be that much of like an investment or to have to port everything over. It really shouldn't be that hard. And so yeah, honestly, it just sucks. It really just sucks. The way that Square Enix treats the West is really just disheartening, bro. I mean, it sucks.
Yeah,
I'm gonna rank it in terms of like it's not great. I don't know if I'm in the terrible, or I mean, I wouldn't say it sucks, because to me the true suck would be if like these were all like still in Japan and we never got them. They easily could have pulled that card. They easily could have never given us those 3DS games. Would I like to see them on Switch? Absolutely. It would be great for the series. And that's a money thing right there. But I can't play a single Final Fantasy, or actually I can play Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, I guess, on Switch, maybe 10, like 12 or something. But I can't even play the classics,
yeah,
you
can.
The retro classics.
They're bringing them over.
Okay. But not now. Like, I can't play them now. At least they're announced, I guess.
Yeah. They'll be there soon, very, very soon.
The reason it sucks, bro, is because, I mean, Japan gets everything, which obviously, I mean, that's where it originated. That's where it's the most popular. I understand that. But, bro, if you do a stream almost 2 years ago for the whole world, and you tell everyone that we're going to get 3 or 4 games out of the 6 that they announced, and then we actually only get 2, that's like blue balling us, bro. I'm just saying, it sucks. It sucks.
They
because
put a date on that, though?
Well, for example, the Dragon Quest X offline, they never said it was going to be Japan exclusive. It was something that they said it was going to be kind of like up in the air. So right there, that's hope. You know what I'm saying? That's hope for all of us that haven't played Dragon Quest X.
Yeah.
And then Keshi Keshi, which is kind of a bad example because it's just a mobile game or whatever, but still, they told us we were gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? Besides that, you know, the game 2D HD remake looked like it was almost ready within like a year's time or so. 12 was just a logo, which I understand. But dude, it's been almost 2 years. Nothing. Radio silence, bro.
I mean, Square Enix, aren't these the guys that with like the Final Fantasy VII remake, like that was something that would have been up in the air for like a decade? You know, like so I don't, you know, I'm okay to wait a little bit. Am I in a rush
Right.
to replay 3? No, I'm happy to get it when we get it.
I don't.
Dude,
I,
I'm in
I
a
still
rush,
operate
bro.
under the faith that we're getting it. I don't think that they just bailed on it.
I don't think they prioritize it though. That's my problem. Is they clearly do not give a shit about Dragon Quest in the West. I didn't even think about Dragon Quest X because I'm so used to not even being able to play it anyway. Like I played a little bit with the mods or whatever, but it's actually kind of a
That's a blue ball.
it's
That's
actually
for sure.
kind of a shitty game. Like when you play it, the way it functions with the controller is not very good.
Oh, wow.
So I'm a little bit surprised by people's genuine joy of it. I think they need to tweak the gameplay a lot, but the fact that it also was remade. I didn't even think about that it was remade into a single player online or offline game. That's like
Me neither. I didn't even think about anything.
but that
we
could
don't
have
know
been
about it.
that's like a slam dunk. That's a game you haven't even released here. And 11 did pretty well from everything I can see. So like what could possibly be stopping you from just releasing it over here? Like how hard I know they have the people to translate this game. So just
They talked about doing level 5 to do the remake for 9 in the
Ooh.
Dragon Quest live stream in like 2019. That's
Right.
4 years ago. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So no, to me the Dragon Quest remake situation is an absolute travesty. It makes me lose sleep because I'm just so angry about how they handle it.
Sure. Lies.
All right, that's one. I think two maybe.
Well, for me, I'm on you. I'm on that same bandwagon. So
yeah. Coming down. BioPhoenix asks, "Did you ever play Fortune Street, the Dragon Quest crossover with Mario?"
nope.
Yep, I owned it. I did a review of it along the time that I did Dragon Quest Swords as well. I've played it. It's kind of my Mario Party substitute. It actually plays really well. There's no real mini games per se, although they do some of the lottery games, like the gambling stuff. But that's not even a focus. It's really about investing in like some of these areas. Sometimes I play the Mario ones, like the Delfino Plaza, and then in terms of the Dragon Quest ones, I'm not even sure. But I just like seeing the characters across the screen. I usually pick the slime. So yeah, I enjoy Itadaki Street.
I do not play board games. Games are
I've never played it. So
not.
It's fun for the family. It's an intellectual experience because you got to think about like investing and what's going to bring you money and stuff.
cool. I'd love to try it.
Majority asks, "How far are you willing to go to play Dragon Quest X online or off?" I went as far as you possibly can. Tried it, played it for about an hour, and I don't know. I was kind of disappointed, honestly. I think though I played it during an event, like there was like an online event where they were feeding you metal slimes. So I was like, literally walked out into the open world and instantly got to like level 13, and I just felt like the whole thing was cheap. So maybe I got in like at a weird time, but also the controls are awful, and I mean so awful that like they didn't, at least on my controller. Maybe it's different for other people's, but I tried it with several controllers, and you can't run diagonally. You have to go forward, left, or right. So when like you're trying to get somewhere far, you can't. You're like, and it has to use the controllers from what I saw. Some of the stuff was a little weird, but you'd have to run forward, and then when you're turning, you have to like literally turn instead of just like arcing your path or anything. And that was so jarring to handle. Like I couldn't believe that was coded that way. So I think it needs work, but I really want to play the offline version. I'd do anything.
Did you play it with like English tools or no?
Yeah, I played with the English tools.
Oh, interesting.
It did
Yeah.
like 80% of the dialogue.
Hmm.
There were a couple things missed, but
Yeah. I really want to try it. Really, really want to try it. I'm actually kind of thinking of maybe streaming it sometime soon. Because I follow a lot of the guys that do like the English translation and they seem to, I guess it's getting better and better. Obviously, they're always gonna, market their product and stuff, making it sound like it's better, which is obviously I'm assuming it is. But yeah, I definitely want to try it, man. I would go very far. Let's just say that. I would go even further for the freaking offline version because
Yeah.
I think it looks so much fun. Like the chibi art style as well is really cute. And yeah, it just looks great. But yeah.
So my Japanese literacy is decent. It's kind of novice, but I can read some of the text. As far as translating it goes, it's not great. Understand like bokenwa or like tatakau's attack and stuff. So I can understand basic
Tatabayo.
commands. What's that?
Tatabayo.
Oh,
That's Naruto. Don't worry about it.
Andatabayo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nani kore? Anyways, I would probably play the import for Dragon Quest X offline because I just don't believe we're getting it localized. But that is the version I would also want to play. But before I do that, my priorities are really 7, 8, and 11 first, before I even think about that. And by then, maybe we get announced, offline coming here. But it would be a good push for me to continue on my Japanese studies.
Respect.
Gex of Turbozone, who's just Turbozone. This is Alex,
Turbo.
our dear friend Alex. Thank you. Of Turbozone, our compatriot on the button mappers, has asked, "Do I have to ask Goku a question?" Alex, you are currently walking a very fine line. I happen to read ahead and know that you did ask a legitimate question, so I'm not going to ban you. But you were about there because you were warned on the last Q&A about your bacon question. So I will move on to the next. Even though the series has certainly gained a larger audience here in the good old US of A, being bigger now than it ever has. Is that a sentence?
Yes, keep going. Just pretend like it's one sentence.
Okay. What do you think would need to happen with the series to blow it up to the scale or hype and popularity we see in other Japanese RPG series, like the Souls series or Final Fantasy?
That's a good question. I think the thing is, so I had a guest on one of my podcast episodes, which was from Japan, and he's been a fan since he was a kid. And I was kind of asking him about, the episode was basically comparing the popularity in Japan, compared to the West. And he said something really interesting, which basically Dragon Ball was just becoming very popular. And the time that Dragon Quest released was right at the moment that popularity was skyrocketing. And so it kind of just marketed itself, sort of thing. And it became a huge hit because of that. That coupled with, I guess, in Japanese society, which this happens in a lot of societies in Latino culture as well, but video games are very much seen as like a bad stigma from the older generation. It's like if you play video games, you're wasting your time. You're not going to do anything in life. Blah blah blah. But from what my guest said at the time, Yuji, he said that basically Dragon Quest, everyone kind of shifted their perspective into thinking that it was actually for smart people because of the RPG elements. And it wasn't just like a game where you just jump on enemies and blah blah blah. And so that also changed like the cultural sort of mindset to think for the adults that this is a good, sort of game for everyone, to make your kids smart, sort of thing. But to answer the question, at this moment, I think our biggest like opportunity for the game to get like a really big increase in popularity is for a new game to be amazing. Like, for example, 12. Because, like, for example, Elden Ring. Elden Ring came out and it exploded. I mean, everyone knew Dark Souls. Everyone knew about the memes, how it was so hard, or, the get good concept. But when Elden Ring came out, it was so popular that literally everyone tried it, despite the this negative sort of opinion on it. And so I think that's kind of what we need to happen with. It has to be like a new game, Dragon Quest 12, for example. I'm hoping that's the game that just kind of gets picked up by like the masses, sort of thing. But I think that's what it is. I think it needs to be a new game, and that just hopefully explodes. So
Yeah, I think my answer would be just to make Goku a playable character, like an unlockable character in one of them. I don't know anything about Dragon Ball Z, but I'm sure they could make that happen. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, the Gex crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they've done steps in the right direction.
Mhm.
So what I mean by that is like, I think seeing like issues of Dragon Quest die in my local bookstores, or like the Smash Bros announcement, those are fine and dandy. I don't think they're gonna pull the same, like they're not gonna make the series suddenly become like the next Final Fantasy VII per se, but it's slowly. I think Dragon Quest is on a like the American numbers suck, but globally the numbers have always like pretty much gone on a curve. And Dragon Quest 11 has been a resounding success. I think it's the highest selling in the series, like 11 million or so, or 6, or I don't know the numbers offhand. But you got it cross-platform. You got it on Steam. You got the S edition. You got Switch. You got PS4. You got Xbox. It was on Game Pass. So I think 11 might actually be that game. But I don't know that 11 has necessarily won the people over either. And I don't think you could just like suddenly make 12 the equivalent of a Dark Souls. So I think the Dragon Quest path forward is to like attack it from multiple angles. Maybe it's localizing the Dragon Quest Dai anime, or maybe it's I think when Dragon Quest Heroes came out, I wasn't too thrilled about it because we were still not getting 7 on 3DS as well as all the other 3DS games. But I remember going into GameStop and hearing people ask for do you have Dragon Quest Heroes? And to see that was nice because I had seen that people were like, taking the series into consideration. Not for the reason that I love the series, but at least it was bringing the recognition. So nowadays I can appreciate that more. Oh, you're really excited about Hero and Smash? Cool. If that makes you want to find out more about the series, that's great. Also, I think bringing all of the games into a playable format that is not mobile ports.
I would also add Dragon Quest 12 needs to actually be open world, not like fake open world. It needs to like really be that game and go for it. Because 11, as much as I like it and I think it's pretty, becomes very noticeable that it's not actually open world and you're just in zones, and it kind of drives me crazy. So I think that would go a long way in just people's immersion in it and treating it like a big game that it really should be.
No, we need the Dragon Quest 6 remake open world style.
Oh my God! If they did that, that would be if they just took the Dragon Quest 11 engine and applied it to any game of the series.
Absolutely.
But you know what they should do? The number one game they should do it to is 9, because they've neglected it for so long. But
that might be the key. That could be the phenomenon, is the connectivity thing, like actually rebranding it.
Yeah. I legitimately believe if they remade 9 with the graphics of 11 and included it. Oh, baby's kind of crying. That's okay. It made it so, and made it online where you can, add party members whenever you want or play with, form a party and do quests and stuff like that. I think that would very much take off for sure. It'd be very, very popular.
Well, here's hoping. All right. Well, that's all the questions we have today. Hopefully we'll have another one. I'm not sure though that we might be doing a different series. So Dragon Quest Poppy, you're out. What if it's at SMT? Like,
Well, I definitely don't want to be here for that. So,
so anyway, that's
I'll
it.
try it someday, bro. I'll try it someday.
That's it for the questions here. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Majority as always.
Pleasure.
Dragon Quest Poppy, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad this is our your first time on our channel, so super happy to have you.
Appreciate you, man. This was really fun, and it was an honor as well.
Excellent. Make sure you check out both of their channels, Majority and Dragon Quest Poppy. Both of them have tons of content that if you like what you like here, you'll get a lot more of it there. So make sure you check them out.
And as far as this Q&A, you can consider it archive. There you go.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.